Hi, this is Natalie Villalobos from Big Android BBQ in Hurst, Texas, and I'm here with Marie Schweiz. She is a visiting designer. She's speaker here at Big Android BBQ, and I wanted to just get some inside tips so that all designers of the world know how to best design for Android. Welcome, Marie.
Hey.
So can you tell us a little bit about how you got into design?
I was a front-end developer. I earned my little money with HTML and, markup. And I tried to get to university. At that point, agencies were too interested in me, and I already got a job as designer because I had too much talent for that. Yeah.
So what was your first successful project?
What is successful?
Well, you could also say challenging, but I thought successful might have a good story with it.
My first successful project was, I think, on Android. With a hacker community in Berlin, Big Android. I helped them to clean up the interface, and we had a world record, I think.
A world record?
They're holding a world record.
For the hackathon, or maybe apps built?
No, Big Android is an application where phones build a huge mosaic of tiny displays, and they built the biggest one, so I just helped them to clean up.
Can you tell us what the mosaic image was of?
I think an image of our hackerspace in Berlin.
Okay, so not like the Mona Lisa?
Not like the Mona Lisa.
All right, but just as cool. How many people participate in the hacker community in Berlin?
Oh, I can't say. I mean,
because it's confidential, or
not it's confidential. It's too huge. If you take, for instance, if you take the C-base in Berlin, they have 500 members, and from 500 members, 100 are active per week. You don't know how many members are actually living and working in Berlin.
Got it. And so if a designer were wanting to start building for Android or just stepping into their career, what are some of the tips and tricks that you would give a designer that's just getting started?
I would say try to befriend your colleagues, because collaboration is all you have to learn, and very often designers stay in their own comfort zone and in their own space. And the best you can do is pick your colleague's mind and start learning about the technology itself. You don't have to code it, but you have to learn what it is. And I think that's the best advice I can give to young designers.
Yeah, I absolutely agree on the collaboration front, because designers are integral to the process of creating a beautiful mobile app, or I think really any successful technology project. And I think a lot of times developers and software engineers don't really know that, right? Just how integral you are to the success.
I mean, a designer has an empathy role in a team. He is using a lot of empathy to design and create, and he's using empathy to communicate. So that's some sort of part of our job, I think.
Yeah. And so your talk yesterday was a bit about creating beautiful and intuitive user experiences. Can you tell us a little bit about your talk and what you wanted the audience to walk away with?
Okay, I was talking about animation for interfaces, and very often I get, okay, that's too expensive, that's too complicated, we should do it later when time is left. And my point is, that's the wrong approach. It's one of the most important and powerful tools we have, and it's not very complicated to do. And I was showing my audience how to do it with just pen and paper, and they shouldn't be afraid. And I had a lot of developers in my talk, so I was encouraging them to join the topic and be designers and do interaction design. And
one of the points that you hit on was really that anyone can animate. And I think that the prototyping element of what you were gifting to the audience was really important. I think a lot of people can feel overwhelmed with being an artist, right? If maybe that's not their first calling. So do you have any tips of overcoming that fear?
Yes and no. Being a good artist is something about practice, practice, practice. And I was just recently asked, how did you become good as you are right now? And I just said stubbornness. Stubbornness, stubbornness, stubbornness. You have to practice. That's how it is. And all I can say is don't be afraid of failing, because in every discipline you have to fail. And if you look at great artists, you can see they had that time too. So look at them, look deeply, and ask them, they will encourage you. That's what I can promise.
Do you think that having a more beautiful, well-designed, intuitive app will lead to more successful apps and therefore more money for developers?
It happened, I just know that works. So this is what I would tell my clients. I just say, you know what, if you want to have more money, we need to do this.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Awesome. No, I really appreciate it. So I guess that's really the pro tip, right? Is like incorporating design. And I think a lot of the principles that you touched on yesterday in your talk, which is online somewhere, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So
recorded.
I think if people look at your principles, they too can incorporate design from a prototyping side, bring it into development, and then long term, they'll be more successful as developers because of a lot of the...
Not just more successful, what I say is throwing all the technology you have into your application doesn't make it better, and it doesn't make it cheaper to develop. It makes it more expensive. I was picking on the name meaningful. Make it meaningful, and as soon you have a meaningful application and a meaningful design, you can have less development time, less cost, and still the same success. So it's, I would say, optimization.
And so are you for hire? Like if people want to bring...
I'm a freelancer.
All right. So, hopefully the developers of the world reach out to you. Can you tell us your Twitter handle and where we can see more about your work?
I'm reachable on G+ as Marie Schweiz. That's how I work.
What is your website?
My website is dvscy.com.
All right.
So my brand is diversity, and yeah, that's how I'm reachable and where you can find my talk.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for sitting down with us today, and thank you so much for flying all the way from Germany to be here at Big Android BBQ.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
So again, this is Natalie Villalobos, sitting here with Marie Schweiz, who's a successful freelance interaction and visual designer who's visiting us here at Big Android BBQ. Stay tuned. We're going to have more great interviews coming up soon.